All right. What's going on, guys? We'll go ahead and get started. Possibly a shorter lecture today. I just want to give you the tools you need. There's only like one major thing left. It's not even major, just a string method includes that you're going to use in the project. And then we'll introduce the project, but you'll be very familiar with it because it's a game we've all played as kids and stuff. I don't know, maybe as adults. So we'll practice a little bit of functions, and then you'll have all of class today to work on the project, and then some of the weekend as well. So, we're going to continue from where we left off yesterday. So, the difference with today is we're going to write these functions outside of the context of the bigger application. We're just going to kind of hyper focus on these functions themselves. So you can think of them as independent as opposed to yesterday when it was kind of part of that application, right? So here, I want a function called remove duplicates that removes duplicate letters. So you see the two N's, and then it becomes 1 for Daniel. So first objective I want to hit, stub out this function. So, and that means basically write it out with an empty code block, or maybe console.log in there. So we're basically just naming it and then, just naming it, right? And then defining the parameters, which we didn't talk about yesterday. So this is good, right? Parameters. So parameters is a fancy name for what? Parameters is a fancy name for what in regards to functions?
Data we get inside the function.
Yeah, so just input to our function. So a function can have input. It doesn't always, like yesterday, right? And it can have output, but it doesn't always, like yesterday. But today it's going to. So who can help me get started on stubbing out this function? Pimpa? How do we declare a function in JavaScript? Yeah, what's the keyword we use to declare a function?
Function.
Yeah, the keyword function, right? Awesome. And then do you remember what comes next?
Parenthesis.
Not yet.
Oh, brackets.
Not yet either.
The name, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So
Variable?
remove duplicates, right? And then in here is where the parameters go that we were talking about. So now we have to decide, looking at the example in number 1, how many inputs does it look like there's going to be to this function? Calypso, how many inputs does it look like we have here?
We have 1 input.
Yeah, and what's a good name? So our responsibility, determining the number of inputs when we write a function and coming up with good names. What's a good name?
If you're only going to take in names, I would rate name, or if you're going to just take in words, I would just put word.
What if I'm going to take in all strings?
You could write string. You could write word.
We traditionally write str. Yep. Yeah. If we're representing all strings. So even though this can be anything, it's like there are rules. There are best practice. Sorry. I took cough medicine today, I promise. There are best practices. So str to represent strings. And then I said I want a console.log it, so I'll write that here. And now, is this important distinction to keep in mind always with dealing with functions? Is this defining a function or invoking a function, Farhan?
It's defining a function.
Yeah, we're defining a function. So What's the fancy name for running a function?
It would be to invocate or
Yeah.
call.
So how do we invoke this function remove duplicates?
Is it still me?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, correct.
So what we would do is we would write the function name, in this case, remove duplicates, and then the parentheses or smooth brackets.
Yeah.
That's how you would call the function.
Smooth bracket. Oh, yeah. I forgot our Canadian friends. Okay. Does anything go in the parentheses?
Yeah, it would be the argument.
Yeah. And why did you use the word argument?
So because when we're writing the function, it's called a parameter, but when you're passing or inputting something in a function, it's called an argument.
Yeah. Another important distinction. The input value is referred to as an argument, not a parameter. Important distinction. Okay, so here I said in the example, I want Daniel with 2 N's. And I run this, and we see in our console.log, everything is wired up correctly. So in your tech interviews, this is what I suggest you do. First, you just stub out your function, define your parameters, most importantly. Well, the name is very important too. And then invoke it right away so you know that everything's working. And then you just do one little line at a time, right? We'll talk way more about strategies for the tech interview. There's a formal acronym like what was it, RECT or Reacto, where we'll go through a whole process of what you should do. But for now, the simple version is stub it out at first. So now let's brainstorm the actually interesting part, the logic. Just in English, you don't have to give me code, but just in English, what's a strategy for kind of making our strings unique? I'm sure there's a lot of ways to solve this, but yeah. What?
Well, I would basically go through each letter and then compare that letter to the previous one, and I would do it for the entire word to identify duplicates.
Okay, so one character at a time, and say, hey, what was the character before you? Okay?
Yeah.
I kind of like that in this example, but where's an example where that would break very quickly? If all we
if
ever
it's
did
not
is
directly
yeah,
decided.
yeah. So I don't know if we if we had the N here, right? Then we're in trouble. So good. We're brainstorming though. What else?
We can create an empty string, and then we can index to the Daniel. We can check if D is there in the empty string. If it's not there,
Yeah.
we can add D to the empty string.
Yeah.
And then we can move forward to the string like that.
Yep. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to create an empty string, iterate through the argument string, and if that character isn't present in the output string, add it. So how can we create an empty string? Step 1. Maureen, how can we create an empty string? What do you think? Is your mic on? Muted?
Can you select the words?
You have the Victor effect, but the opposite. Where is Victor? Where are you? Yeah, it hasn't happened though recently. Yeah, your mic sounds possessed today, but we'll circle back. Ellery? Oh, everyone's got mic problems. There we go. Nope. Huh. Is it me? You guys can hear me, right? Semsi?
So just let word equals empty string.
Yeah. Do we like the name word? I got this. That's fine, right?
No.
That's not
Phrase.
bad.
Let's say phrase.
Okay. Okay. Phrase. Sure. I kind of like output. I always say output, so we'll say that.
Okay.
But it's really not that big a deal. Okay. How do we iterate through the string? And let's say we want to console.log one character at a time. So how do we iterate through a string? Mohammed, any
Is it me
ideas?
again?
What is going on today? You're muted. Yeah. Okay. Ritu?
So you would start with a for loop.
Yeah.
So write for, and then you would initialize the index I, let I equals 0, and then semicolon, and then if I is less than string length, I plus plus. So we're going through each layer.
Very nice.
And then you do console log string and then bracket notation I to see every value in that loop.
Yeah, very nice. So one character at a time, we're iterating through this string. Now I said here, we want to check if that character is present in output. Check if that character is present in output. I'll say included to give a hint. Does anyone know of a method we can use to check if a character is present in a string? We have a hot mic, Maureen. Yeah.
Includes method.
Yeah, so we're going to use the includes method. So how can we use includes method, which is built into strings? So if we make a little string and press dot, we can see includes here. So we get it for free. But how can we use includes to check if output has a certain character or not?
Output dot includes.
Yeah, output dot includes, and the
String of
argument
I.
we'll give this method is the character. And now this is a little fun little test. What will the console.log show? Yeah, what will the console.log show? I'll opens this class because it's a little tricky.
True or false?
False.
How many falses?
One false, I guess.
One false.
Sorry.
Interesting.
Should be 5, right?
6.
No.
Or five.
I have 5 because from 0.
Okay, getting very close. How many falses? I think 7, but we'll see. Maybe I can't count. 7, yeah. Why? Why 7 falses?
Oh, because you're not adding anything to the output string, so it's
Yeah.
always empty.
Yeah, this always evaluates to false. So just a little extra practice on the includes method. We have David, right? Dot includes Z. Console.log. What will this be? David.
False.
False. How about this? Let's try to be tricky. Victor.
Will this count capital letters or not? I mean, it obviously includes 2Ds, but like I'm also like, does it also count a capital letter?
Well, capital letter is a different letter than a lowercase letter. Different ASCII code, different everything. Yeah.
So it should be true.
Okay. Oh, it's true, but okay. Let's do that. That was stupid. Here, let's do this. There we go. That's what I meant.
Then yeah, in that case, it's also false.
Yeah. And this I don't even know the answer to, but I have a guess. But what do you think, Katrin? This isn't relevant for the project, but I mean, I was just curious looking at it. I can't remember, although I have a guess.
Oh, I believe.
False? Interesting. I think true, but I'm not sure.
It can be true because they have the same 3 letter in
Yeah,
front.
it does include it, right?
Yeah.
That's true, yeah. And then David, and then David's false. Yep. So that's includes method. Very useful and will be useful for you in, I almost said the name of our project, right? Before the reveal. But it'll be useful. Question?
What about if we did VAD and it's capital D?
I mean, that'll be false, right? Why would that be correct? Oh, because individually it includes them?
Lowercase v. Yeah. Like lowercase v and capital
I think that'll
V.
be false, but we'll see. Yeah. So the sequence matters. Okay, so returning to where we were, how can I use this output.includes string bracket I to only add the certain character we're on if this is true, basically? Or sorry, no, if it's false, right? Because we only want to add a letter if it's false. Let me write that because that's a little tricky. We only want to add a letter if this is false.
So put if the output includes string I. And then I would put a bang before maybe, so not.
Yeah, I like it.
And then add, you could add the, so you put, what's the name of it? Output plus equals string I index.
Very nice. I run this and I see nothing. Why don't
You
I
have
see
no output, no
Yeah.
prompt or anything.
no output? So I think this is the very first time we're talking about an output to a function. So functions can optionally have an output. And what's the keyword we use to output something? Output
Return.
a value from a function. Go ahead.
It's return.
Return. So here we want to return.
Return output.
And what else does return do? It does another important thing.
It breaks the function. No, it doesn't break it. It like ends the function.
I mean, breaking is not entirely bad to say because we have that keyword break, which is kind of similar. Yeah, but I would say stops. So everything shuts down. It's just over wherever you are. And this is going to be a very important concept. And return is different than console.log. Console.log doesn't do that. It just outputs the console. It doesn't output a value from the function, and it doesn't stop the function. So I still see nothing, even though I'm returning. So right here is the value Daniel with one N. Why don't I see it?
put in a console log?
Yeah, I have to wrap. So right here, it's like floating in our code in memory, right? But to see it, we have to do something with the value. So I wrap it in a console.log. And after all that work, I got Daniel. Questions on that?
Is it preferable to just put it like that, or would it be better to make a variable that the function is written into? Yeah, like
Yeah, either one is totally fine. For this simple example, I don't think it's necessary. But
I didn't know like
yeah.
a best practices for that, like if one is preferred over the other.
There's not a best practice situation. Yeah, preference for right now. If things get more complex, maybe later on. Yeah, good question though. Other questions?
Can we console log output outside the function? Because it's in that variable output.
Oh, great. Yeah, great question. Can we console.log output right here?
Yeah.
What? So let me turn it to you. What's your guess?
And
let me remind you of scope from yesterday.
I think it'll still show as an empty string.
Okay. So what is this from yesterday? What is the scope of this variable where it's first declared?
It's actually inside the function, so it's not. It's going to maybe show as undefined or something.
Yeah, it lives. Well, I think it'll be a reference error, but it lives in this scope.
Yeah, the local scope.
These curlies are its parents, right?
Right.
So out here, it doesn't exist.
Okay.
So we get a reference error. Other questions or the next one? Yeah, Mehdi.
What happened? Oh, sorry. Yeah, you go ahead.
No, it's okay. Okay.
What happens if you put, instead of Daniel, you put N Daniel?
Let me turn it to you. What's your guess? And then we'll look at it.
Maybe it'll be N Dale.
Yeah.
So with
exactly
no
right.
N's in between.
You nailed it. Yeah. So this isn't like a perfect like name unique maker. This is just doing exactly what our logic says, but there's different ways you could do the same kind of idea. So it's definitely not like perfect. Oh, I put it right here. Sorry. So yeah, this is nonsense, right? This doesn't do anything useful for us, but it does do what it does remove duplicates. There's no duplicates there. So it's true to the name. Yeah, great question. It would almost be impossible to do one that basically was for names, to make sure you didn't do like a spelling mistake. It would be almost impossible, right? Because like Maxwell, my name like has 2 L's. Like how would it know that one of them is, or that 2 of them are okay in that case? Like, so that wouldn't make it. It would be impossible to do. If you wanted to do like a name spell checker, you would just need a list of all the common names and compare them.
Yeah.
Is that exciting? Future bonus project. Okay, other question. This was the important function. This one, more just for practice. Yeah, for practice. But includes is what I really need to show you. But we can move on. Or other questions on this? Because these are great questions.
Man, can you go through one more time, please? Sorry.
Yeah, let's go through together. So we invoke the function with, let's just do Daniel. Daniel, right? With 2 N's. So, Ketzer, in line 5, what is string equal to?
String is equal to Daniel.
Yep. And output is equal to an empty string. And then we're iterating through Daniel. And what is this on the first iteration? What is this equal? What does this resolve to? So I guess first off, what is string bracket I?
Is the check the index of Daniel string?
Yeah, but what is the actual value for the first iteration? So I is equal to what?
I is equal to 0 first.
Yeah, I is the zeroth index of
D first.
Yeah, so it's D, and output dot includes the character D is equal to what?
Output includes equal to D. Yes.
No. Well, okay. So if ignoring the bang operator, does the string output include the character D right now?
No.
No. But then that no is banged and it becomes true. So we run this block or we don't?
We do run it.
We do run it. So output equals output, which is what?
D now.
No, not, or yeah, but you skipped ahead a little bit. Output is the empty string plus string bracket I, which is the character D. So output is equal to D. So that's the first iteration.
Yes.
Okay. And then did you need me to go through again? The second?
No, I think I've got it. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Okay. Any other questions? All right.
I have a question.
Sure.
Like, why is the name Daniel underlined? Which error is in it?
I have an extension for spell checking, which I didn't require you guys to use. I don't have a strong preference about it like I do with Prettier. I kind of like it. I mostly like it. Yeah, you're free to use it if you want.
Okay.
Okay, so random numbers. So what do I want? The input is going to be a number, and the output is going to be a string with that many random numbers separated by a space. So who can help me stub out this function? Ketrin?
Function random nums, parenthesis, and curly bracket. Five in the parenthesis, I think.
No.
Do you want to...
No, not the number 5 here. We don't want to hard code that.
Okay, number.
Yeah, exactly. So when we do number, we usually just say num, right? And then to make sure it's working, I'll just console.log num. And is this defining a function or invoking a function, Sadiq?
It's defining a function.
Yeah, and how can I invoke this function?
Random nums of 5.
Sure, yeah. And we see the number 5. And then what is the eventual output of this going to be, Sadiq, this function? Does it have an output?
No, it does not have an output.
No?
No,
Oh, right
not,
now,
because
no,
we
but
just
eventually.
I think we just need to console log it. We are not going to return anything.
Well, no, I'm specifically saying we are.
Okay,
Yeah.
you want to add it to a string.
Yeah, so we're going to return one string as our output. So right away, I'm just going to make an empty string, right?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then now, open to you guys, the most interesting part. Let's brainstorm the logic. How can we populate this empty string with the number of random numbers that we want?
Create a for loop, maybe?
Yeah, that's the whole week, right? Create a for loop. That's the end. Yeah, because the whole week is loops. But yep.
So for I equals 0. Oh, let I equals 0. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't forget. So guys, why do we need the let there? Because I see this is a popular student mistake that they forget the let. So maybe talking about why you need it will be helpful. And you're not really in a position where you can understand the answer, but if you don't have the let here, this will be a global variable. And global variables are gross.
I, right?
Huh?
It's just to declare the I, right? To declare the...
Exactly, to declare the I. But if we didn't have the let, it would also declare it, just in a problematic way. It would be global, which we don't want. So that I would be available everywhere, which in coding is something we want to avoid. And we'll talk
So
about.
let and var would do the same thing. They would both make it a local variable. So like if you said var I equals 0 would be the same thing or no?
So in this case, it'd be exactly the same, but var is function scoped and let is block scoped. So, oh no, in this case, it wouldn't be the same thing. So if we use var, I is now available all here, which we don't want. We want our variables to be block scoped. So only available here.
Oh, okay. But it wouldn't be outside the function. It'd still be only in the function.
No, var isn't that bad. It's a little bit
Okay.
bad, but not that bad. Yeah.
Got it.
Okay, so we have let I equal 0. Who's helping me out?
I was, but if someone else wants to do it, I don't mind. So I less than num,
Yeah.
and then I plus plus.
Okay, and this loop is going to run how many times?
5 times.
5 times, yep. All right, so we're running a loop 5 times, and now what do we want to do inside the loop? Or maybe we should say, how do I generate a random number? Oh, what did I say? Oh, here I have to specify between 1 and 100. Yeah. So how do I generate a random number? Don't worry about the strings, the blah, 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 the anything. Just how do I generate a random number between 1 and 100? Who haven't we heard?
Is that the thing you told us yesterday with the math.ceil and then the math.random with the parentheses times 100?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So math.random gives a random number
I learned.
between 0 and 1, right? So let's take a look at that. And then, Linjay, do we like those numbers or not?
No. I
No.
forgot how to change that part to.
Yeah, so how can we round these numbers?
You had it before, Linjay. You said it.
Yeah, you said it.
Part of this.
Oh, the math.seal, like sealing, I guess that's what it's called.
Yeah, I think so. Or David might correct me again, but yeah, I think it stands for ceiling. So it's going to round it up, right? Yeah. Which in this case is what we want, because now we have 1 to 100. And if we round it down, if we use math.floor, we would have had what numbers? It's a little tricky, but, or maybe not. I don't know. What do you guys think?
0 to 99.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, so now we have a random number between 1 and 100, but we have more work to do because the output we want is this. So what do we think?
Do you index it to 0 and then add to it?
We add to it.
Do you want those?
I like that part.
Do you want those specific numbers? Is that what you're saying?
No. That's just an example of random. Yeah.
Right. That makes more sense. That's why I was like,
You make the condition.
Conditional? What conditional?
If num equals to 3, then
if num is equal to 3,
we can. If it's not equal to 3, we return to the loop. If it's equal to 3, we.
No. Yeah, this is Zeotu's question. She had just asked me. These are just representative of random numbers, not the numbers we need. That would be an interesting challenge, though. How many to get this string exactly? How many iterations would you need to do? That's a fun bonus that's a good like mock technical actually. But that's way harder than what I want. Yeah, these are just stand-ins for random numbers.
You just add the random numbers to the string.
Yeah. How do I do that?
Can you add numbers to a string just like by adding them? I don't know.
Yeah, it's called coercion. So the string wins in the battle, and it will convert. So if you do like a string plus the number 3, it will convert it to the string 3, and then concatenate. Yeah.
So then you do string plus equals, and then that whole math section.
We called it output, but yep.
Oh yes, that's right.
Yeah, and then this whole.
And then it'll just loop it until the for loop's done.
But we're going to have one problem too. Well, first I save this. I don't see anything. What's my problem there? Who haven't we heard from? Daniel?
Return output.
Yeah, so we need to specifically return. Still don't see anything. What do I have to do, Daniel?
You need to console log random nums 5, but you're gonna just see a string, one string.
So what do I do to clean it up?
I think we are gonna need an if condition at some point, but for now you could just do plus an empty space.
Why would we need an if condition?
Never mind, because I was looking at it from like that example on line 24. It would be 3 space 94, so on and so forth, and then you'd have an extra space at the end. But I don't think that.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
I think technically we might have an
matters.
empty space here, but it's hard to see.
Yeah, but I don't think visually it matters the way.
Yeah,
we did
but
it,
close
so.
enough, right? Or is there a way we can think that we could? I mean, we could just. We can't mutate a string, so we can't pop it, right? I guess we could use like slice or splice. Or...
Do you want to do trim?
Yeah, but you're gonna have to tell me how to use it because it's been a while.
So on return, you do output.trim.
That's it.
If that's what you're looking for, to remove the spaces at the end.
Trim. Okay. And then. Oh, let's do dot length here to verify. 12 and without the trim. Oh, what? Oh, did trim take away all our spaces?
It shouldn't do that, right? That's weird.
Yeah, why is it so... Oh, because maybe they were different random
changed.
numbers. Never mind, yeah.
Yeah, it could have been single or double digits.
Yeah. This is funny. This is like hard to see the space because I can't think of a way that we can see that space.
You can do the console log. In the console log, you can just highlight it. I think.
You could also change. Oh no, you couldn't change this. I was gonna say you could change the space.
Oh yeah. Oh no, it won't let me. I'm double clicking. This is a funny problem.
If we don't have the past empty
there we go.
string,
Yeah, there we go. See it? I think that means it worked, or it'd have the space. But let's try it without it. Wait, what? Never mind. I got excited for no reason. How did I do that before? No, never mind. I don't know. We'll have to believe that trim worked, I guess.
Did you assign the output to a variable and then check the length?
Yeah, but
So
wouldn't that be the
after you
same
invoke it,
as just checking the length
outside of
here?
the function?
I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Thank you. So output.length here, but then when we return output, now we're going to do .trim .length. There we go. Beautiful, Aziz. Thank you. Yeah. Genius. Okay. That became more interesting than I thought. Questions? Okay. I guess. Oh, should we do a Codewars? I really do want to encourage you guys to use it, and we're great on time. So let's do one. And and then we'll talk about the project. I know it's kind of daunting, the website, but it is really good practice. Let's do the easier one. I guess this isn't. Oh, this is very similar to what we did, kind of. Let's see what the other one is. Oh. This is more different. So maybe this is worth doing. So I'll just copy it. But we're giving, it's funny. It's kind of similar to ours right now. But anyway, I'm going to copy the example and then we'll try to see how we do on it. So we want to make a new function called high and low. The argument we're giving is a string, very similar to the last time. And we have to pick out the highest number and the lowest number. Okay. So how can I stub out this function? Zubida, how can I stub out this function?
I think we need to define the high and low.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
like
exactly.
To declare them.
So how do I declare a new function?
Let high equals.
So this
not so sure.
Yeah, this is going to be a function expression, which you could do, but let's keep it simple because we haven't introduced that yet. Izzy, how can I stub out this function?
So we could write function and call it high and low. Parentheses. I don't know if we need parameters, but the curly brackets.
Well, let's pause there though. So does it look here like we have an input to this function?
Yeah, there's a string. So
yeah,
string.
Then some curly braces, and then we'll console.log it. And then Izzy, is this defining or invoking a function?
Invoking.
Yeah, and this is defining, so let's run this. Great. Everything's wired up. Now, we want to return the high and the low as a string. So we have to determine what the high and low is first. How can we do this?
Me still?
Oh, sorry. This is open because it's hard. Yeah. Unless you have a guess.
Couldn't you use the max and the min functions?
I don't know. On a string? I doubt it.
Oh, on a sorry.
Yeah,
no,
our data type, our input, our argument is a string.
I think you'd have to iterate through the string and convert each to a number one by one.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll get just a giant number.
So iterate through string and convert each to number. Yep. Yeah. But what else should we keep track of?
You should declare two variables, one that's the maximum and one that's the minimum.
Exactly. Yeah. And one more thing I think we should do. When we iterate through all the numbers, what do we check?
Sorry, go ahead. No, go, David. Go.
You check the conditions against each of those variables to see if it's less than min or greater than max.
Yeah. And then finally, what should the initial values be of min and max?
Probably just 0 is fine.
The first element is the string.
No.
Nah, I think 0 might be a problem.
Maximum safe integer.
Maximum what?
Safe integer. It's like the biggest value.
Infinity? I think infinity is a
store.
value, right? In JavaScript.
Yeah.
I guess we could do that. That's funny. Is there a negative infinity?
Yeah, there is.
Okay, let's use those. That's hysterical. Negative infinity. I've never used this. Positive infinity. That's awesome.
Actually, that's not how you do it.
No.
Number dot remove infinity. Number dot max safe integer.
Oh. Okay. Oh, well, this is the min. So min safe integer?
Yeah.
So the more, does anyone know the more traditional answer to this? This is a very common pattern.
You would leave it blank, just empty string?
No, you'd actually set it equal to the first value. Both the min and the max, and then compare every other value, and then you'd be assured that you were good. But let's go with this because it's funny. Okay, how do we iterate through the string? How can we iterate through the string?
For loop again?
Yeah.
Yeah, so let I equals 0. And then I is less than the length of the str. Yeah, str.length. And then plus plus, I plus plus.
This starts to get weird.
Max?
Yeah.
I think you need to change the min and max. Max should save the number dot min safe integer, and min should save the number dot max safe integer.
Oh, they're reversed?
Yeah, they're reversed.
Okay. Weird.
Yeah, because otherwise it'll never be less than the min and it'll never be more than the max.
Oh, okay. Got it. Kind of. Yeah, got it. That makes sense. Okay.
Hey, Max, so what does that, when you console.log min, what does it say exactly?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. No, it looks like this isn't going to work for us.
You still have infinity on line 52.
Oh. Ooh. So the maximum value allowed in JavaScript is whatever this number is. Interesting. Didn't know. Okay, so
couldn't we just put the max is 5 and minimum's 1?
Yeah, but that's our human eyes looking at it. What if we got many, many other strings that needed to be processed by the code?
Basically, you're imagining that someone's writing it into like a prompt, like, oh, give me 6 numbers.
We don't know what the numbers are going to be. Yep. So this part I actually don't know. So does anyone have any ideas? Because so are we assured that, like, what if numbers are 2 digits long, right? So we kind of, I don't know. What do you guys think? I have some ideas, but this gets more tricky than I thought.
Should we use the method split or?
No, we can't by my own, I don't know, requirement that we don't use array methods yet.
Okay.
Or yeah, that would actually be really nice.
I think we can use 2 if statements and check if plus str of I is less than min.
If what?
If it is less than min, str of plus str of I plus str of I, because we need to convert it to number.
Plus str bracket what?
I.
Oh, okay.
If it's less than min, min is equal to str of I.
But he was saying like, what do you have? What if you have like double digits?
Yeah, what if
so
you
if
have
you had like
double
a
numbers?
10, it would be a 1 and a 0.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
But
I think in this
actually,
case,
let's
then we need to
let's worry about
recognize-
that. Let's worry about that as a stretch goal because we're running short on time. Does this work right now? No, because it's converting the space to a number, I bet. So here, and what do you guys? How can I make sure it's not a space?
And bang space.
Yeah, and string bracket I not equal to a space. Yeah, so now we have the min, and we can do the same logic for the max. Whoops. So does this work for the max? Yes, it does. And then we can use our backticks, right? To interpolate with our cash money, something.
Cash money curly.
Cash money curly. And that's it. Let's not worry about the double digits because I want to show off the project. Okay. So assuming that we're always given a single digit, let's just say that that's part of the prompt. Any questions on this?
So it's saying to return 501. So you just change the min to max first, and then the min and the blast.
Yeah, and then instead of console.logging, I have to return. Yep, and that maybe would get us points on Codewars, but probably they have 2 digits, right? We can look real quick, but oh no. Okay, that's part of the prompt. So it's so it's always single digits. Nice. So we solved it. Should we try to enter it? Get some points?
It looks like it has negative numbers. I'm not sure if that might be an issue.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Okay, since we're running short on time, we'll try it once, but I'm not gonna sit here tweaking it. And we got something wrong. So yeah, we didn't pass, but you guys can do that as a bonus maybe. Any questions on this? Okay, project. The project is Hangman. You're going to make a clone of the following game, right? A random word. Let me put this up here maybe. Oh, that's annoying. So the prompt goes away, but a word is chosen at random from a pool of at minimum 5 words. So here's a random word. Do you guys know how on Wheel of Fortune you get like RSTLNE for free? So it's the same thing I did here for this. So if any of those letters are there, they're filled in automatically. So you get those for free. And then your client just guesses letters. So here, anyone have a guess? What should I guess? What letter? A. And we got one rope. They don't have a noose emoji, which I guess makes sense. But so we have a rope. So you get 3 ropes and you die. Does anyone know the word? Or let's guess more.
M.
We're dead.
Yikes.
A-E. Should we do the vowels? Like I, maybe? Okay.
E.
D?
E.
No, E's already guessed. We have an E.
He's already there.
Is it delicious? No.
It might be.
S? We already have an S.
T for tango.
We're dead. Okay, let's try.
It's probably delicious, honestly.
Okay, this one's easier.
Elephant.
Yeah, so we guess P, we guess H, we guess A, and it says you won. So it looks simple. It's challenging. It'll definitely take some thinking. But you have all the tools. We've covered every single tool you need to successfully do this. But with that being said, are there any questions on this? So I know you might feel overwhelmed, but remember, we're here all the rest of the day and then all weekend to work on it, right? Okay. All right. If there's no questions, I will let you work on it.
Sorry, one question.
Uh-huh.
I see that it only chooses from 2 words. Do you want us to only have 2 words to choose from and then it randomly chooses one or just?
It only has 2 words. I programmed mine with 5 possible words.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I only see them popping up over and over again.
Well, yeah. Well, no, there it goes. There's a new one. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, rooms are open.